Hey guys, MC Stu here, and today we're going to talk about shipyards, how to select ships, dry dock ships, upgrade ships, basically everything that has to do with managing your ship or the ships that you have or ships that you would like to claim. This is, again, another part of the STO 101 series that covers just some real basic mechanics of the game itself. Before we jump in, if you haven't subbed to the channel already, I'd appreciate if you go ahead and hit that button and ring the bell. Also, consider becoming a member to the channel if you click on the button below and take a look at some of the perks that are included with that. All right, so let's go ahead and head down the ramp here and take a look at the main ship vendor items or ship adjustment items vendors. So on the right, we're going to have our ship manager. This is going to allow us to change the ships that we're in. In the middle here, we have the ship vendor. This is where you can purchase in-game ships like C-store ships you can purchase through here. You can dilithium ships, fleet ships, basically pretty much everything that's in the game that's not like a special on sale kind of thing. And then over on the far left is your ship tailor, where you can adjust how it looks. Let's start in the middle here, and let's grab a ship here. So let's get a new ship, and let's find something that we already own. So let's go by the tier. So here you can adjust it by rank. So as you level up a character, like if I were, this is a level 7 character. Once I hit level 10, I would get a little token that would allow me to purchase a ship here, and they would have a little token button looking thing here instead of buy. There's only a couple you can pick with the token that the game gives you for leveling. You would click that you want to buy it, and then you would claim it. Once you claim it, it would go into your ship roster. It would not automatically equip. So as you can see right now, this is the ship I'm currently have equipped. This is the T6 version of this. Actually, no, it is this ship here. So let's grab a ship that I own that I can claim. I don't know if I can sort it. Let's take a look through here. There is quite a few ships. Okay, so this ship I own. So I can say I want to buy the ship since I already own it. Let's say I didn't already own it and you have the Zen, you could just buy it here. I'd recommend if you're going to purchase ships, do it from the store, and just in case there's sales. I'm assuming that would probably also reflect here if there's a sale, but to be on the safe side when you're purchasing things with Zen, do that from the actual C store here at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and buy this ship. It is free because I already own it. In some instances, it's going to put it right into my ship list. If you claim it out of the C store, a lot of times what it'll do is drop a box in your inventory, and you'll need to open it, and then that window will pop up. And you'll say okay, or you can change the name. I just went with the stock name. So I have that ship. Let's take a look at the ship manager here. So this is going to show me a list of all the ships that I own. So right now it's just the one that I was in and the one I just claimed. So here I can start adjusting the items I have in my ship. I could just ready my ship, and I could then adjust it from my character screen. Let's say I wanted to upgrade the ship to a X, using an X upgrade. You have to do that at this location, at this vendor. So let's say that I don't have any in my inventory right now, but let's say I'm just looking at a ship, and this isn't going to show it because it is not upgradable. So let's ready this ship here. It's going to grab and fill in anything that I didn't have selected. You can change that option if you'd like in the options screen. I'm not going to go into that at the moment on this one. We'll look at that with the UI overview. But if I wanted to upgrade this, I have to do it from this vendor. I can click on upgrade, and I could go ahead and apply the upgrade if I had an experimental one. I do, but not on this character. Let's say that I had this ship open on another character and I have upgraded it. This would actually say claim free ship upgrade. I could click it and it would then upgrade the ship. if you have a tier 5 ship that you want to use a upgrade token on, so a ship upgrade token, which is different from the X upgrade, you also have to do it at this vendor. You cannot do it from the character screen here. So you'll see it shows it, but it's grayed out. Even if you had one in your inventory, this is still going to be grayed out. I don't even know why they show this here, because it's unusable from this view, from your actual character screen. So if you want to apply an upgrade, you're going to need to do that from this vendor. You must click on him. The next item we have here, let's say you're starting to get full on ships. So I have 2 more active slots for ships, but I also have 5 dry docks. So say I have a ship that's not reclaimable, so a Lowby ship or a fleet ship. If I delete that ship, it's gone forever. I have to repurchase it. If I have a C-store ship like this particular one, I can discard this ship and I can just reclaim it again from the C-store because I own it and it's account-wide unlock. Let's say it's not, though. Let's say it's a Lowby ship or some other ship that's not a account-wide unlock that's reclaimable, but you need extra room. So let's pretend this ship is that. What we can do is put it into dry dock. So I have 5 slots in my dry dock, and in order to do that, I have the ship selected, and I would just click on. Why can't I click on dry dock for this ship? That's weird. Well, I can do it for this ship. Maybe it's because it's got stuff equipped to it. I'm not sure, but click on dry dock. And it moves it out of that list. Now I have 3 active slots, and we have that ship in dry dock. And most likely the reason I couldn't put it in dry dock is because that ship was readied. So I'm currently in this ship. So if I had switched to the other one, then I could do that. So to get it out of dry dock, we're just going to reactivate, and I have a choice to rename it again here if I'd like to, and that ship is now back. So if I ready this ship, ready. There we go. So that ship is ready. Then I switch over to this guy. Now I can put it in a dry dock if I would like to. So those are the items that you can do at your ship manager. As you get further through the story, you're going to end up with 3 or 4 more ships, and then as you accumulate them from events or purchasing them, those are all going to be available here. And as you get lots of them, it's really a balancing act between putting stuff in dry dock or ships that you don't use anymore that are C-store ships, like if you weren't going to use this particular one. Once I unlock this, I would save up for the fleet version, and then I would just discard this ship, because if I needed it again for whatever reason, I can just reclaim it again out of the C-store. So C-store ships you can drop. Ships that are not reclaimable, that you can't replace without buying them again with Lowby or whatever it may be, fleet ships you're going to want to put in your dry dock. Lastly, we have the ship tailor. Ship tailor can be kind of funky sometimes, so we're going to click on customize ship, and as you can see when I dropped in, this is not what my ship currently looks like. And I find a lot when I come into the ship tailor, it's got some, different configuration from what my ship was before. So I'll cancel it. And generally when I go back in, the ship is going to look like how I had it. Here you can change some of the default looks. Some of these require a purchase. If it's the fleet version, you got to have the fleet version, or if it's a paid version. I have the tier 6 version of this, so I think all the skins are unlocked for me. But if it were something where it was a special skin that required, came with a C-store purchase, and you don't have it, there'll be a price down here. You can click on advanced, and you can kit bash these. So I could use like this ship, but maybe I want to use a different, saucer section. Let's go, something really weird like that. And so you can mix and match, your pylon, saucer section, the hull, all those kinds of things. There's different materials that you can use for the ship. So this is just skin materials. Some ships have way more. This particular ship's an older ship. And then there's also different windows and styles. Some of these make more of a difference on some ships than others. You can change kind of the color scheme, which on a lot of things don't make a big difference depending on the patterns you're using. So I have like none, but if I click on something, depending on the skin and the ship itself, I'm not really seeing any difference. What did I select that on? That's on the struts. That's probably why. Let's just try it on something else and see if we get a pattern. Yep. So there's some green, and so there's different patterns that you can put on. Again, some look a lot better than others. Again, this is a much older ship. And then you also have interiors. Most of these are going to cost money, but there are different, other variations that are just unlocked and available to you. So that is the ship tailor. Once you're done, you're going to apply. I'm not going to apply these changes because that is extremely ugly looking. So we're just going to cancel out of that. So those are the three main vendors that you really need to know about. There is a ship item vendor here. This stuff is all basically garbage. You're going to get better stuff from just random drops in the game. So, and what your ships come with stock is going to be basically equivalent to this. I've never bought anything one time from there in my entire life. One last thing you may want to know about, if you've already leveled up and you're running advanced TFOs and you've died, you might notice up here it'll say that you have injuries or damage to your ship. If you come down here over to the engineering officer, ship repair, you can click on this. You can repair your injured ship and it'll show what the injuries are, and you can click on repair all of them. This is, I think this is free to do. There's also components you can carry in your inventory where you can do that without having to come to him. But if you don't have those, you can just come to this guy and you are good to go. So let's take a look at the other main faction locations just so we can see where these vendors are. So if you're KDF, Romulan, or if you're like hanging out at Deep Space Nine, all of these vendors and utilities are available at all of those locations. So let's go ahead and jump around and take a look where those are. Okay, here we are at Deep Space Nine. We've just beamed on to the promenade. We're going to exit the the transporter room, make an immediate right, and it is going to be in this room right across from the exchange and the bank over here. So when we enter here, we have the gear vendor, which again is garbage. We're going to have our actual ship vendor. This is where we can acquire ships, and next to her we're going to have the ship tailor where we can customize our ships, and then our ship manager, which is right here where we can change our ships or upgrade them or do whatever we would like to them. This one I think I'm actually going to upgrade. Do I have one on him? I do not think so. They're in my mail, otherwise I would show you that. I think I have everything else already applied. Let's see here. Yeah, I think everything is applied that I had it to already. But again, this is where you would need to apply those upgrades. All right, let's go ahead and jump over to Kronos and take a look at where the ship vendors and managers are there. Okay, here we are on Kronos. We are in the main square. There is the main hall across from me there. The exchange is down here, and the transporter room we just came out of when we beamed down to Kronos. The ship yard is not on Kronos. It is actually in orbit. You can look at your map when you're in orbit, and you can approach that station and fly up to it and beam on board. Or if you show up closer to the planet, or you don't see it in orbit, or it's on the other side, or whatever it may be, you can beam down to Kronos. So you'll beam down and end up right here in this spot. And then you can say, let's talk to the transporter chief, and we can say we want to beam up to Shipyard. And this will take us right to the orbital station. So you can beam down to Kronos, talk to the transporter chief, and then beam up to the shipyard. Otherwise, if you come into orbit, you can find the station, just use your map, pull that up, you'll see it on there, approach it, and you can beam on board. So we just go right out the doors, and here we are going to have our ship manager down here. This will allow us to change our ships, do our upgrades. There is I believe this is a bank slot over here where you can access your bank, which is kind of nice having that close. We have the ship tailor, so for customizing, doing those kinds of things. And right over here in the center, we have the ship vendor, where we can acquire new ships. That's where you go for KDF aligned characters. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Romulans. All right, here we are on the Romulan flotilla. You will not have access to new Romulus as a low-level Romulan character, as that does not exist in your storyline until you hit somewhere around level 10 or 15, right around the time that you're going to pick a faction to align with. So when you beam onto the flotilla, you'll be here in the transporter room. We're going to go ahead down the hallway here on the right, and we're going to hang a right here and then an immediate left. And we are going to find ourselves right in the shipyard. Here we have the ship vendor for acquiring new ships. On the other side here we have our ship manager for selecting your ships and doing upgrades, dry dock, and then we have the ship tailor for adjusting the way your ship looks. let's go ahead and take a look at new Romulus for fully leveled Romulan characters or characters that have progressed far enough to where that is available. Okay, here we are in the new Romulus system. We're going to go ahead and beam down to the command center. Once we enter the command center and the transporter room here, we are going to go ahead and go into the main hall, and we're going to hang an immediate right and head over to the elevator. Once we go into the elevator here, we're going to turbo lift down to the shuttle bay. And here is where we are going to find our ship manager, vendor, and the tailor. So the first one here is going to be our manager. Here's where we can change the ship we're in, do our upgrades, and so on. Next to it here, we have our ship vendor, where we can purchase our new ships. And right on over here, we have the ship tailor. And on the far side, we have our repair engineer, where we can fix damage. So that covers all of the locations there for all the different factions, as well as just the basics of how to use your ship vendor, the ship manager, and the ship tailor. So I hope that was helpful. Again, this is a part of an ongoing series of the STO 101, just basics for new players that are just getting into the game and needing to know where some of these basic things are and how to use them. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and hit the button, ring the bell. I'd really appreciate that. And until next time, stay safe and thank you for watching.